Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be taking another look at Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector. I think we said what we'd do first today is have a quick look at the contract board. I wouldn't mind also going to check out the other new locations that have opened up. Well, we know Carston. He was the guy that gave us sort of our main story job. Is that saying I've got a point to spend? Oh, okay. So how does this work then? I've got 1 point. Is that saying I need... So I need 4 to upgrade these things. Okay. And I need 2 to upgrade these things. So I have a point. I can't currently spend it. Okay, I don't know why this says 0. Oh, I get it. It's just saying when you have that, it kind of doesn't influence things positively or negatively. When you have that, it adds a point. When you have these, it adds 2 points. So. Cool, okay. It's going to be a while before I've got 4 of those. So let's take a look at the contract board then. Conway signal. Station management have located a Conway signal. They're concerned to see one so close and are looking for someone to disable its source. Requirement, disable signal source. Payment, 200 cryo. That's risky. Buy signal contract. The open contract for the Hexport administration requires a fee to be paid to receive the coordinates of the job. So you pay 10, you get 200 when you've done it. I mean, okay. We'll come back to that. Let's have a look at the scrap place. So this is probably to make money, right? And we can do it as an engineer. Swift Scrap Solutions, or Triple S as it's known locally, is a chaotic and slightly terrifying scrapyard where open shifts are always available. So if I was to put my 1 in there... Yeah, it's a little bit on the risky side, isn't it? Even with our strong engineer skill. All scrapyards have paid data diffusal work to offer, as old tech tends to be laced with protocols and countermeasures needed. Okay, so this is all us making money. There's also sell raw scrap. Processing scrap, so we'll probably put that in and get money or something back from it. Okay. And if we would go to cast and supply, let's deliver the data core or buy the feed line, so that's all there is to do there. I guess... So where do we buy the supplies from? Trade hall? Buy supplies, okay, cool. And you also buy the fuel. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we're not going to go out and do the contract at this stage. But maybe I'll do another gambling with this 6, and we get a 100% chance of winning. So we'll make a bit of cash in here. 9 cryo. It's not a huge amount, but, you know, it's something. The food... I might leave it a day. I'm not sure if we know it does at least 2. There's a possibility it might do more. And there's also another place to eat over here, the canteen. So what I think I'll do is... What should I do with the 1? I mean, we could risk like a 50% chance of a successful shift. I think if it's unsuccessful, I think it would... We'd probably lose energy. It says danger. I kind of should have looked at that, really. Neutral outcome. So we made money, we lost energy. Okay, I can live with that. I can live with that. So we got 10 cryo from that. That's good to know. I think we should eat food. So let's go back here. I'll take the cheaper meal and see kind of how much energy we get for that. I'm expecting 2. Yeah, 2. Okay, that's fine. So I think we'll go back to the rig. Rest up. What is more expensive to buy? Food or fuel or supplies? Supplies are 15, fuel is 5. So I think if we make what's his face? Seraphin source some supplies, that's worth more to us than fuel or getting... I don't know, I doubt he'd get 15 cryo. So let's put him on that. That seems like a good use of that. Let's end the cycle. It might be there's a different job the next day. I don't know. It's okay. A couple of high rolls, some low rolls, and a bit of a neutral roll. Did he gain supplies? I didn't feel like he did, because we had to, unless we use one every day, which is a bit unlucky if that's the case. I was kind of hoping to have a bit more. So if we go back to the contract board, Conway signal still there. Well, let's say we're going to go and do that then. So now, if we come out of that and go to our map, so that's this one. Okay, so it's saying we have fuel. It will cost us 2 to get there. So we need 4. I mean, assuming we we want to get back as well. So that's all right. We can buy that. Let's just come out. So we're going to need a bit of stuff. So do I want to fill up? We have 1, don't we? So I buy 3. That's 15. So I'm going to have to eat as well. Let's buy a load of supplies. And then I'm going to go and snaffle a bit of food. Okay, so we're going out with a full load of dice, even though some aren't, that great, but whatever. Oh no, we want it, so if we go to the map. Now, I haven't done a contract before, so this is quite exciting. Click on it, confirm vector. Yeah, okay, cool. Select crew. So Junie's not available. That's interesting. Maybe she'll only go out for the main story one. So we've selected her, he's locked in, she's not available. So, does it say what their roles are? It doesn't really, but she is good at... I can't remember what that is. I think that... She seemed like a bit of a hacker type, so I'll assume that's what that is. That's an intuit type, I think. So I think that's good, because they are kind of sort of doubling up what we've got. Go out with 2 people then, I guess. Let's travel the contract. A drone? Seraphin spots the signal source first, the light barely shimmering off its dark hull plating, a design trait that betrays its covert use. A flash catches your attention and you see a rent in the hull, through which red lights pulse. Wounded? Seraphin shakes his head. Wish they'd finished the job. You've seen one before? Seraphin looks back over his shoulder towards you. We've seen one before, didn't you? He sighs. Sorry, I know it isn't your fault. He looks at the drone. Lane had us work on one in the dark side bay, though it was barely a shell. Disarmed and deactivated, he had us searching through its guts for salvage. Even that one gave me the creeps, and it had its core ripped out. He pushes the ship closer. This one is still alive. Conway? Naya kisses her teeth. Corporate scum. You glance over at her and see the fire in her bright eyes. They don't even dare to come here and force us out themselves. It's all proxies and drones. She shakes her head. Typical core-bred cowards. Have you run into them before? She glances at you. You might say that. She looks out at the drum. You won't see me taking my eyes off that thing for a second. Seraphin carefully guides the ship closer. You watch the drone. System is full of these things now, running missions for their operators. Rare to see one out in the belt though. Maybe he got hit during a run-in with Senate stat mercs. Looks like it's drifting. Most of the system's blown out, but look, there. He jabs a finger towards a red light on the far side of the drone. It's still broadcasting, maybe even receiving. How do we shut it off? Seraphin brings you ever closer. What I remember from the dark side job is that the central core and the broadcast array need to be shut off to kill these things. Core will turn off local systems, and the broadcast array will sever the link with the Conway operators. Seraphin swallows. But you can bet those systems are protected. Can't we blow it up? You see any torpedoes in this rig, Sleeper? Seraphin laughs. We gotta shut it down by hand. Your attention is suddenly drawn by a shudder from the drone, like a tremor running along its length. The thing is rigged to blow, Sleeper. He frowns. We go slow and careful, and we dinna touch anything we don't ken about. He turns back to Naya. You hear that? I gotcha. She looks sincere. Seraphine brings the rig to a stop, close enough for you to cross through open space to reach the drone's hull. Let's suit up. You head down to the airlock to prepare. As you get suited up, you think of the corporate war taking place in the inner system, the war that this drone was driven from. Out here on the shore of the conflict, the biggest danger is that this flotsam and jetsam drifting in with the tides and orbits of the system might, one cycle, bring the war with it. But now the belt is outside of its reach, but looking out at the red pulsing drone, that doesn't give you much comfort. Okay, first contract. So I've not done one of these before. Let's have a wee look. While on a contract, you will be able to assign 2 dice for each crew member as you would assign your own dice. Pay attention to the crew skills and use them effectively. On certain outcomes, crew will take crew stress. When the stress is full, you will no longer be able to use them to perform actions. While on a contract, your energy bar will automatically be supplied for each cycle that you have available supplies. Okay. When your supplies are depleted, both you and your crew will take 1 stress per cycle. Okay. Contracts also have their own contract stress. When this bar is filled, the contract will fail. Good luck. Okay. Rig to blow. Alright, what have we got? Well, we've got hull damage and access hatch. Let's look at the hull damage first. So, we've got quite a big clock here. The drone's damage provides a lucky access point to the broadcast array, which will have to be disabled. Identify route. So we've got Intuit, which I believe Nia is skilled at. In fact, it tells you here it's color-coded. She's green, so that's good. It might be possible to slip through the gap in the drone's damaged hull, but once inside, where to go? How to find the broadcast array? So if I was to put Nia's... we'd probably want to go with the 6 for a dangerous one. 100% positive. So that would be good. Let me just go back in. We also have create opening. There is a gap where the drone sustains some damage. With a lot of effort, it might be possible to pry away the plates and create an entry point. So we also have Seraphine is average at this endure. So if we were to put in his 4, perhaps slightly riskier. But we also have the access hatch here, which we've got interface skills, which we're not particularly good at, anyone, or an engineer one. So getting inside the drone requires care as much as force. Conway is highly protective of their proprietary systems. So, yeah, my engineer skill. So I could chuck in my... Oh, I think it's re-rolled my dice. I have to remember that, because I wasn't sure if we went to a contract whether we'd need a full set of dice. It looks as though I could have used all my dice that cycle and then come out with like an empty load of dice and it would have just re-rolled it for this. I think that's how it's working. So I probably only want to put my 5 in to guarantee a good outcome. So let's have a look at this. So, create opening. I think we should probably try this. Let's pop in. Let's make. I'm there if you need me. Let's start her action. Got +2 on that clock. That's how it's done. Could keep going. I mean, my query, I suppose, would be... do we need to do both of these things or just one of them? So obviously I'd probably want to put my engineering stuff in here. Do I risk a 4, effectively? I mean, it's a 75% chance of doing something decent, so we'll give it a go. Neutral. Okay, so she took a bit of stress, but we've added to our clock. That's fine. We could try... I mean, he's not too bad on this, actually. So Seraphine, if we do his sort of endure skill, that's guaranteed positive. So he's gained a couple of things there, and I think I pop in his 4 as well. So again, 75% chance of a decent result. Negative. So we've had a drone stress. If we do too many of those, the thing's going to blow. I'm not going to put any of my stuff in the clock. Well, I suppose I could put it in the Intuit, couldn't I? I might put the 5 in there. So we won't get a negative result, at least. Yeah, got a positive outcome. So again, we've put 2 more in that clock. I've got some low dice now. Oh, what have we got? What have we got? Oh, broadcast system. Are we in? Let's have a look. Hack broadcast. Skill required. Interface. Now that you're in the broadcast... So, did I get in then? That's kind of weird. Alright, now that you're in the broadcaster of the drone, you'll need to shut it down fast. The simplest way is to put the entire system offline. Now, we don't have anyone who's that good. I'm probably the best at this. So we have 3 possible results. Drone death. Disable the core. Shut down the broadcast array. Once both are done, this Conway drone won't bother anyone anymore. Drone countermeasure. Something is steadily beeping in the core. If you don't work fast, you're going to be in trouble. Array disabled. Alright, well, let's have a look. I don't think we need to do that access hatch now. What's this one, though? Disconnect backup. In the core, you see the drone is running on backup power. Disconnect that carefully and you'll be one step closer to a full shutdown. And it's similar on the clocks. And that's Intuit as well. So Nia is going to kind of be our best chance there. I'm not unskilled in it, but I'm not super skilled in it. So if I was to put a 3 in... Yeah... I think I try. Neutral. Array disabled. Got one thing. I'll take another risk on that. Negative outcome. Stress. You've just gained some stress. As your stress increases, you'll have a higher chance of taking damage to your action dice each time you roll them. Oh. I don't really want to put a 2 in. Seems like a bit of a risk, that. See, I don't know if we need to put any more in these, because we're in, right? So maybe we end the cycle? Not great rolls on them. I got some good rolls, though. So let's work on... Oh, I've got to get in again. Oh no, okay. Might try his endure. So we got... No, okay, fine. Guess I try her on there. She's getting some stress here. But we're 3 away. So... I could put in one of my 6s, perhaps? Now, are we in? I wonder if that was a bug previously, seeing that. It seemed a bit strange. But I'm going to put that in. Take a slight chance on that. Neutral. But we have got access. So if I continue, you hear the bleeping immediately. Among the chambers and cabling of the drone's interior, something has started counting down. Guys? Nia's voice comes hissing through the suit's comm channel. Does anyone else hear that? Because I'm getting nervous. Shit. Seraphine's voice joins her. This is what I was worried about. Are we screwed? I can't be sure. Seraphine has dropped his voice to a whisper, as if that might make a difference. Either this thing is about to send out a distress signal or it's about to blow. We've got to shut the system down fast. He pauses. Then we move on to the other side, because I bet you there's a surprise waiting for us there too. We good? Nia sounds tense. Am I heading back to the ship or what? Seraphine cuts in. Aye, we're good. We keep going. He shuts off the channel. You take a moment in the silence. Alright, time to deal with this fast. And then take it over the other side before something happens. Okay, getting it. Okay, maybe we do have to do both, in which case that sucks a bit, because we're a ways off achieving that. I think I have to put the positive outcome in there. Maybe that fills the clock. Array disabled. While on a contract, you can use your push ability to give you an edge in a tricky situation. Pushing accrues 1 stress, but will give you a key advantage based on your chosen class. You can see your current push configuration. Yeah. So we know it's the one where I take a stress, but increase the dice thing. So I think we've done this, and I think that other half will fill when we do the other side. Now I can add a bit with the engineering side. Not amazing, but if I push... what does that do? Don't think that did anything particularly. Well, oh, did it make my lower dice higher? Okay, well, let's give this a go. Neutral. Okay, I'm getting stressed, but we gain some access. We'll do it again. Neutral. Okay, we're getting our stress is going up, but we're gaining access. Neither of them is going to do anything remotely useful here, fortunately. So I think we have to come out, go back to the rig. Okay, we've got some high dice there. You've taken damage to a dice because of stress. Okay, we can see that there. When your dice are rolled at the start of the cycle, the stress dictates if you take damage or not. Higher stress means higher chance of damage. The white markers above the stress bar, okay, tell you which numbers will damage your dice when rolled. Each dice has 3 health. When this is depleted, the dice will break and must be repaired to be used normally. Oh, I see. Okay. So that's a 2. We didn't roll a 2. So we rolled a 1, which is why that's taken damage. Gotcha. That's interesting. We can actually do more stuff on the rig. Make a meal. Bunks? Yeah, we can't. We shouldn't be resting. So let's head in here. We need to gain access, and it seems like that's probably a good use of my engineer dice, right? So the 5 should be an automatic success. 6 should be an automatic success. I think I need to try a 3. Neutral. Added our stress. The 3s will get damage now. But we're in. So that's good. Intuit checks. So Nia is our best at that. I think this should be fine because she can't fail this. We've done it, right? The thrumming, pulsing interior of the drone goes still for the first time since you boarded it. You look across at Seraphin and Nia and share a smile. You all exhale so loudly it can be heard over the suit's shared comm channel. The drone is dead. One less piece of Conway shit to worry about. Nia grins. We killed it. Didn't get too excited, Seraphin cuts in. It was looking pretty rough when we got here. You make your way back out to the hull, the drone now faintly rolling in one direction. It stabilizes offline. Nia catches up with you as you glide towards the rig. We make a pretty good crew, Sleeper. We do. Nia grins widely. She punches you on the arm playfully. You reach the rig's airlock and take one last look at the drone's dark hull. It catches the light as it rolls in the vacuum. At some point in the future, this drone will likely be smashed to pieces by one of the many asteroids of the belt, spread across this place as twinkling dust. The thought pleases you, as does the thought of all that cryo Hexport now owes you. Time to go collect. Contract complete. Leave it via the map. You now travel back to the hub. Once you leave, you will not be able to return. That seems... -5 stress during travel. That seems good. Okay, so leave. Might even take our stress more or less all the way down. We got 1. Okay, we can live with that. After docking at Hexport, Seraphin lets go of the controls and leans back in his chair. Nia leans over to you. Thank you, Sleeper. She stretches. I know you took a chance on me. Glad to have you. Nia smiles an infectious smile. Feels good to make a contract work. Seraphin smiles. No matter how we pull it off. It's hard not to agree, and it feels better when the Hexport courier comes with a lockbox full of chits. Lane may still be hunting you, but this should help the effort to slip his net. Suddenly, you hear a familiar voice. Nia! Femi glides into view, approaching from the docks. He fixes you with a stare. What are you playing at, Sleeper? Nia wanted to come. You go to speak, but Nia drifts forward, cutting you off. Don't come throwing your weight around, Femi. I can make my own decisions. He glances back at you. Sleeper took me at my word, and I'm grateful. Femi is fuming. Did they now? He turns to you. Well, if you are working for Sleeper, I hope they paid you well. Nia looks away. Well, I asked, so... Femi smiles. Oh, so they aren't paying you? Seraphin crosses his arms. Let's keep this civil. You realise this is the first time he's meeting Femi. If we're being civil, seems like Nia is owed her share. Femi fixes you with a severe look. Yeah, we pay her a share. She did good work. You grab around a quarter of the chits from the lockbox and hold them out to Nia. She takes them sheepishly. All right then. Femi smiles. We're good here. He turns to leave. Nia mouths a sorry and follows Femi across the docks. Seraphin watches them go. You're sure know how to peck 'em, Sleeper. He shakes his head. He turns away and heads back along the docking bridge. I just hope we ain't gonna end up a stack of cryo short when we need to get out of here. Okay, minor drive complete. We've got an upgrade point, nice. You have push upgrades available. Yeah, we saw that, didn't we? So... +1. Which one do we want? I think +1 to affected die. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah. Now can we... Ah, okay, so we'd have to buy that and maybe we can switch it up. Or maybe we've just made a final decision. But it still says -1 stress. Maybe it just means it would be -2 stressed on a positive outcome. Okay, so we have a bit of money here. Don't need to eat. We got a bit of fuel. So we didn't actually... So it was 2 for the whole journey, including the return journey, then, I guess. So that's good. So if it's going to go back to the contract board, there's nothing there now. Interesting. Don't have any scrap. Nothing really to do there. Well, we could go to the scrap place and do some work. If I put that in there, see if we get anything good. Neutral. +10 cryo, minus energy. That's fine. So I'll put this one in as well. Get a positive outcome. 12 cryo. Okay. I've got a bunch of 2s, which isn't great. I wonder how we repair dice. It said we could do it on the station, but I haven't seen where. I probably shouldn't do that. Not very skilled at that. Anything else in the canteen apart from food? There wasn't. I think I might fill the fuel and the supplies ready for our next run. We've got 100 left, but we're full up in terms of getting ready to do our next run. We could go do it now. I mean, like, let's look at the rig. Set it for that. I'm not going to rest here because it'll add 1 to this cycle and then it's going to re-roll these dice anyway. So I think that's okay. We can actually use supplies to make meals there. We haven't got that. So yeah, so I'm thinking we head out. If I click on that, oh hang on. Head on that, so it's going to take 3 fuel. We got 5. We got 5 supplies. I think we do it. So we select Junie for this one. I guess we can only take Seraphin plus 1 other. That's okay. Let's go. Confirm crew. Here we are. The Solheim derelict fills the cockpit windows, all twisted plates and skeletal structwork. You watch in horror and fascination as Seraphin completed the approach, both of you silent in the presence of this decaying beast. Now, as you settle beside it, Seraphin is the first to break the silence. "This thing's already dead?" He shakes his head. "It's a corpse sleeper." He nudges the ship closer, looking for a place to dock. "Hey, touch this thing too hard, it'll crumble into dust." Let's not do that. Seraphin does a little mock salute. "Aye, aye." He rolls his eyes. "Any other tips?" "Take us up there, that's the bridge." Junie points towards one end of the ship, and both you and Seraphin turn around, having forgotten she was even in the cockpit. She hasn't said a word since you departed. She glances at both of your bemused faces. "What?" She looks away. "Sorry, that's where we need to go." She stops pointing. Seraphin nods towards Junie. "She's not wrong, Sleeper. The bridge would be a good start." Let's assess the wreck first. Junie settles silently back into her seat. She looks away, out of the cockpit, and you're unsure if she is upset or just embarrassed. Carefully, Seraphin brings the ship close to the derelict and guides it along the hull. The rig's lights ripple over the broken surface, finding gaps and cracks everywhere. It seems remarkable that the derelict is still held together. Shit. Seraphin hisses as a huge spinning piece of debris drifts in front of the cockpit. He pushes the rig down beneath it, squeezing between the debris and the hull, and as he does so, an ear-splitting screech signals the rig scraping across the derelict's skin. You freeze for a moment, waiting for the breach sirens to sound, but the moment passes and you relax. You glance at Seraphin. His face betrays no emotion. "This isn't safe. This isn't safe." Seraphin shakes his head. "I'm going to find somewhere better to settle the ship, and then we need to suit up and get to work our way along the hull on foot." You look back at Junie and see her still in her seat, eyes wide. "Are you okay?" Junie looks at you, and there is a sudden, unfamiliar hardness in her eyes that surprises you. Then a moment later, it's gone, and her gaze softens. "I'm okay." She smiles a flat smile. "Don't worry." Seraphin brings the ship away from the derelict's hull an inch at a time, then slowly brings it round to settle close to a mostly intact hull plate. "This section is fairly free of debris." He nudges the ship a little closer. "We should be good to hold here." Seraphin unclips from his seat, and you and Junie follow suit. As you all glide towards the airlock, Junie silently follows. You can't help but feel judged. As you reach the airlock, Seraphin begins suiting up. "If we're lucky, that little collision hasn't started a cascade that will end with this place coming apart under our feet." Seraphin violently kicks his legs into a set of EVA trousers, clearly irritated by his own carelessness. "We need to be more careful." Seraphin shoots you a look. "Hey, nay shit." "This is a delicate job," Junie says quietly, almost to herself. "The data core will be fragile." She casts a furtive glance in the direction of you and Seraphin. "Very fragile." Understood. Junie nods appreciatively. The rest of the preparation process takes place in tense silence, each of you considering the delicate job ahead. You suit up too. Though you don't need a helmet to breathe, you slide one on and lock the seals for protection. This wreck isn't going to give up its salvage easily. The core should be near the bridge, maybe even inside it, but there's a lot of wreck here, and there might be good salvage tucked away in the cargo hold. Once the suits are on and the seals are checked, you cycle the lock and stare out at the vast expanse of the twisted hulk before you. Time to go to work. Alrighty, well, Seraphin rolled high. Junie got a 5, so that's not too bad. We rolled reasonably well. If we get engineering checks, that should be quite good. So we have a corroded airlock and a depressurized bay. I expect we probably need to do both, judging by the previous time. Let's look at the corroded airlock. So that's engaged. We have an engineer check. That's good. Now, looking at the derelict stress, there's looks like 3 milestones building up to something. This will give us bridge entry once complete. Force the lock. No one's particularly good on those. Well, Seraphin could probably do quite well. The clock is running the contract, and forcing the lock is the fastest way to gain entry. Or, using my engineering checks, I'd probably even get away with the 3 on that. Safest way to make it through. Cool, we could probably do that quite good. Cargo entry. Clear cargo doors. Find access point. There has to be a way in amongst the shattered hull. Searching will be slow. Getting to the cargo entry means breaking through the shattered remains of the aft hull. We want to get in the bridge, don't we? I think. So I suggest that we do that. Bridge entry. I'll use my 6 as well. This seems like the thing we need to do most quickly. I'll shut the 4 in. Now, do I try the 3? I think so. Neutral. Bridge plus bridge entry. No stress. Cool. Okay, well, we've done pretty well there. I'm not going to try the 1. I mean, I could push and make it a 3, which would be a 4. Could be worth the risk. That's made it up to a 4, actually. Nice. Alright, so this probably won't get us in unless it's positive. Okay. So what if we try one of Seraphin's 5s there, which should be decent. Bridge entry. Some derelict stress, though. The contract stress has triggered a crisis. A crisis will add 1 contract stress per cycle unless resolved at the crisis location. 1 crisis active, plus 1 per cycle. Okay. Let's continue though. We're in. That's the main thing. The bridge of the derelict lies silent. The pale beams of your suit lamps catch rows of terminals and clouds of glittering dust. Wires wave like seaweed and the whole scene appears as if underwater. Chaotic, but still. Junie glides past you, disturbing the dust and taking you by surprise as she does. She has been a stoic presence so far, but in this moment she seems drawn forward by some force of curiosity. You watch as she bats away debris and begins checking terminals. Let her work. She is already prying an access panel off one of the more intact-looking terminals, and as she does, puffs of red rust colour the vacuum around her. Approach her? She turns back to the terminal and finishes prying off the plate, then quickly she reaches inside, fishing around for something. Her hand comes back out with a waving cable topped with a thick connector, and as soon as she sees it, she slips a keyboard-sized deck out from somewhere on her person. She runs her hand across the back until she finds the right port and slots in the connector. All of this happens in a few seconds, the routine practiced and precise. It's not hard to be impressed. Sorry, it is hard not to be impressed. Nicely done. We'll see, she says, so quietly it seems mostly to herself. Junie's fingers dance across the deck's keyboard and a burst of static lights up the Solheim terminal screen. The sudden burst of light and colour takes you by surprise. Junie's fingers tap away, the terminal's screen flashing with blocks of colour and lines of code. It buzzes and vibrates, its long-dead systems forced back into chaotic life. Then all at once it goes dark. The terminal is dead. Shit! Junie hisses under her breath. Useless! You cannot tell if the insult is directed at the terminal or herself. Did you find anything? She looks up at you as if she was just waking from a dream. No. She pauses. Nothing useful. She protectively slides her deck away. A cradle with a data core can't be far. She pushes off from the terminal, gliding away from you. I'll start looking. She calls back and heads to the other side of the bridge. Seraphin glides up beside you. Everything all right? What do you think of Junie? Aye, the kid. Seraphin shrugs. You'd know better. You'd ken better than me. Keeps to herself. He squints at her retreating form. Seraphin stretches in his suit. I'll have to admit it's nice to be back working, especially now that we are the ones who will reap the benefits. He claps you on the shoulder. Feels good to be taking our fate into our own hands. I know it's pretty rough there back on Hexport, and out here we're just as likely to get shredded by debris as find a damned data core, but aren't you glad we made a break for it? He pauses and looks down, having asked the question almost by accident. I mean, I am. I just didn't want to speak for you. Yeah, I'm glad too. Seraphin smiles. You better be. I didn't give up that little dark-side cupboard I was living in for nothing. He laughs at his own joke. Look. Seraphin checks his suit's wrist seals. Once we got a bit of space behind us, once we've gone the distance, if we even managed to get that far, he furrows his brow. Dinna feel you owe me. I'm no charity case. You want us to go our separate ways? Fine by me. He meets your eyes. Just do me the favour of telling me to my face. I will. Seraphin nods but doesn't respond. After a moment he shines his torch out into the dark, checking the rows of terminals all across the bridge. You watch the glittering dust as it eddies in the beam. Seraphin sighs. Let's get to it. You watch as he crosses the bridge, his torch probing the dark corners. You feel a chill run through your body as you imagine the people that once ran this ship, the Solheim crew, surely long dead. What was it like here before the collapse, when this system was the jewel in Solheim's crown? It's impossible to know. That history is lost to you now. All you can do is pick what you can from the ruins. Alright, hull breach. This is the crisis. We have endure checks. We have clock of 6 to seal the breach. We'll come back to that. So we're in the bridge now. What have we got? So we've got endure here, and interface here, which is Junie's specialty. So we have data core location we're looking for. I've used all my dice. And we've also got the depressurized bay. Are we supposed to be getting in here as well? Feels like a lot. I think we've got the crisis we should be dealing with. And then we've got this. So let's start with this. This is a 100% positive outcome. +2 data core. There we go. A strong pulse comes through the deep inside the derelict. That must be the core, but its location is vague and needs triangulating. With the... I think maybe I'll put the endure into the hull breach then. Got a decent chance of a positive result. Neutral outcome. 1 bit of breach sealed. Okay. Right. We got 2 for Junie. I don't think I take the chance on that here. I think that's... well, it's a 75% chance of doing something decent. Maybe we'll do it. We are racing against the clock a bit. So yeah, neutral outcome, +1. Nice. That's probably as good as we could have reasonably hoped for. Let's go back to the rig. And I guess we'll end the cycle. Hope for some good rolls. Could be better, could be worse. Well, let's keep working on the data core search. I think I put in the 3 as well. There we go. So we're halfway there. That's pretty good. Let's think about what I do. So I'm rubbish at this. This specifically I'm very bad at. So maybe I put Seraphim stuff in here. Positive. So we're halfway there as well. And we'll put the 4 in too, because that's a decent shot at getting a good result. Yeah, we're almost there. I mean, I'm wondering... well, no, because I'll subtract 2 from my roll, which seems bad. Can I do anything useful here? I'm actually fairly neutral on this, so I could... if I did this, that's either positive or neutral, isn't it? So I think I put my 5s in here. And at the very least, we'll add a couple. We're getting there. I feel like we're probably 1 cycle away from doing that. My concern is here. I can't really do very much here anyway. So if I was to put that there... yeah, I think I risk it. Neutral. Push our luck once more? I think so. Hey, that's pretty good. I got a 1. I don't really know what to do with that. I mean, I could push it to make it a 3, but I think we're doing okay. So let's just end this cycle. Hope I don't roll any 1s because it'll break my dice still. Oh god. Okay. Good rolls here. First things first, let's resolve the data core because we've got a 6 on Junie. Well, or should I give her the 4 and save her 6 for something else? I might do. Yes, we've done that. So if we've got the location of the core, so if we come out... oh, I've got some engineer skills here. and interface. So this is good. It's her playing to her strengths and my strengths. So isolate the core is fragile, but by rerouting the data connections to it, from its cradle, it could be lifted free without damage, at least in theory. So I think the good results is the extraction, the bad results is the damage. One way is to cut it physically free, slicing each connection individually through the potential for damage is high. Yeah, so the risk is we damage it, but if I put in the 6 and the 4, I think that should be alright. We'll put this in there. 100% positive. Okay, so we'll put my 6 into the engineering side as well. Okay, we're halfway there. Let's come out, because we also have this crisis we need to resolve. So we'll put his 6 in, and that should fix the whole breach. Okay. Still not quite sure about this, but we're taking out the core, so let's do this first, and then we can kind of take a view on whether we leave or not. Because we might want to do a bit of salvage, potentially, I guess. Let's put my 4 in. No, I should put that in the engineering one, shouldn't I? Can't have a negative result here. Neutral outcome, still did a bit of damage. Take another risk. Positive. We're nearly there. If I put that there, no. That's a bit risky. But we're doing good. Doing good. I mean, I'm wondering if I put a little bit into... probably neither of those, actually. Yeah. Don't really see a way to spend those low rolls, so let's end this cycle as well. Oh, did I roll another 1 on that dice that was already broken? One of your dice is broken due to losing all of its health. The broken dice can be repaired at the rig for a cost once the workshop is available. Okay, which it currently isn't. So that sucks a bit. Let's come here. Let's do this, and that should be enough to extract the core. Good. You watch nervously as Junie guides the core out of the cradle. A large ball, almost half your height in diameter, it glides up out of the framework that held it, connections waving loose and cut. A breathing comes through the suit's comms, loud enough to be picked up, and it fills you with tense energy as you watch. Over the course of this job, you've seen Junie both focused and distracted, nervous and precise, but you have not seen her any more confident than in this moment now. She floats beside the data core, handling it with care and skill as if it were the vast egg of some endangered bird. She glances up and sees you watching her, and you notice something unfamiliar in her eyes, something that you have perhaps seen in a passing moment before, only now it is no momentary lapse or change. It is set in place. You see determination. She guides the core a little away from you with one hand, and at the same time comes forward, almost placing herself between you and her prize. And it does seem to be hers in the way she handles it, the possessive way she screens it with her body. We need to talk. The statement comes flat and deadpan, any nervous tremble gone. Right now. Okay. Sleeper? She takes a deep breath. I want to be honest with you, but I need to know you won't take this from me. Junie glances around the cradle just defensively, but Seraphine is already heading back to the ship to prepare the cargo bay for the core's storage. You two are alone. Tell me and we'll see. Fine. She folds her arms. But it's staying with me. Karsten don't deserve this treasure, Sleeper. Junie glances over her shoulder at the core. Do you know how many of these are left intact? She shakes her head. And all he wants to do is wipe it clean so he can use it to interface with Hexport. All that data. Gone. So what do you want? I want to extract the data, make use of it. You see some genuine emotion flicker in her eyes. She sighs. After extracting the data, the core will be unusable. There's a security system that will fry it if the data duplication is attempted. I can delay this security response long enough to copy the data, but after that... She trails off. You've done this before. She looks down. Yeah. She meets your eye. This is why I came. Look at this place, Sleeper. She gestures to the cradle room, a dark and twisted cavern of long dead tech. How many of these places are left? How many chances do we have to recover anything this old, this fragile? Like it or not, we live in Solheim's shadow, in their ruins, and yet we know almost nothing. What chance do we have of understanding how we got here when others like them, like Senetstat and Conway, are descending on this system? Alright, well, what can we learn from the core? I don't know, Sleeper, that's the point. She gestures around herself. We could learn our history and how this system was settled. We could better learn the technology we build our lives on. We could uncover Solheim's crimes and seek to make amends. She looks at you with pleading eyes. We could see beyond survival towards something else. You've never heard Junie speak like this, and you realise what you have taken for nervousness was actually control. This, the person in front of you defending a decaying data core with their life, is the real Junie. But then you think of Lane, of the price he likely put on your and Seraphine's heads, and of the feed lines, without which leaving Hexport will be almost impossible. Is this even a choice? Okay, let's explain to her about our situation. Junie listens carefully as you tell her about the deal with Karsten, the feed lines he offered you, and that both you and Seraphine are on the run. Then I'll help you. Junie doesn't flinch. We find another way to get those feed lines. Karsten is an idiot. I can hack his security and you can pull them out of there, or Seraphine looks tough. Maybe he can grab them. She looks desperate. We can do it. We can do something. Let's do it. Oh, thank you. Junie looks genuinely moved. This is a gift to all of us, Sleeper. I hope you'll see it like that. Junie turns to the data core, quickly gathering one of its loose connections. She takes out her deck and plugs it in, then crosses her legs and places it across them, floating tethered beside the core. Her fingers began tapping at the keyboard, teasing out the core's data and whatever Solheim secrets it might contain. As she does, Seraphine enters. He braces himself in the entryway. What's she doing? Junie doesn't seem to notice. I'll explain later. He eyes you suspiciously. I hope you know what you're doing, Sleeper. He nods towards the core. That's our ticket out of Hexport. Junie will help us. If you say so. You both turn to watch Junie stripping the core of its secrets. A little while later, once the core has been emptied out and its defense mechanism has scorched its seams black, you watch the metallic sphere spinning gently in the room and wonder if you've just made a terrible mistake. Contract failed. Okay, so why don't we try and get in the bay? We might be able to find some scrap or something that we can sell. Let's put Seraphine's stuff in here. We don't need that many wheels. Oh, he's already got 3. It's not bad. Let's try this one as well. We're in. Cargo storage. Map the bays. Countless vast bays extend from here, deep into the derelict. Scanning and mapping each one will allow you to navigate them safely. Yeah, alright. Alright. Let's give this a go. Might have hoped for more on that. Okay. I'm going to try my 3s though. Neutral. Do I push and take more stress? I don't think I do. Oh. Yeah, I think we rest up again here, and we might get something good out of this. So let's end the cycle. Interface. So Junie, do you want to? Do I use the? Yeah, let's use that. We might get 2 pieces of clock for this. We do. Scrap survey. Okay, cool. Leave. New location. Deep bays. Endure. Okay. Deep inside the derelict, there are masses of intact scrap. This is valuable material, but it's also what's holding the ship together. All right. Well, let's try a 6 on that. 1 raw scrap. 1 derelict stress. I mean, regardless of this, I think we're going to leave after this, so... I'll try my 5s, because that'll be a 3 effectively, won't it? So... If I fail it again, I think we might die. So tell you what, we're going to come away. Let's head back, shall we? Let's head back. Get out while the getting's good. As you arrive into Hexport, Junie speaks up from the back of the cockpit. We're going to have to act fast if we want to take those feed lines. You and Seraphine exchange glances. You are both still getting used to this new Junie. We? Seraphine raises an eyebrow. Only one of us fried the core and stole all this data. He shoots you a look, and for some reason we let you. Look, we can make this work. What I'm wondering, Sleeper, is why we have to. Seraphine looks infuriated. I don't think Karsten's going to take kindly to the idea that we brought someone pretending to work for him on the job and let her have his prize. He scoffs. He points at Junie like she's an object. Do you even know what she's up to? Junie looks between the two of you. Hexport hasn't exactly been kind to me. You two trusted me even though I didn't deserve it. I'm not used to that. I want to repay it. Not to mention that Karsten's probably ripping you off. Even if you get enough cryo, what's to say he won't just raise the price? Trust me, he's no good. I was trying to deal with Karsten to get those derelict coordinates from the moment I arrived here and he ran me in circles. She shakes her head. Seraphine is watching her closely. Even if I do take you at your word, which given everything seems a little tough, how do we even do this? He raises an eyebrow. You're telling me we just drift in there and take his feed lines? Look, I get it, you don't trust me. She pauses. But what if I have a vested interest in this working out? There's nothing left for me here, and I don't much feel like hanging around waiting for Karsten to figure out my involvement in all this. I need safe passage. You need the feed lines to grant it. She allows herself a smile. See where I'm going with this? Seraphine sighs. I didn't like it. He pauses. But it makes sense. What do you think, Sleeper? I like it. All right then. Junie smiles. Let me prepare. I'll head to Factory Row, scope the place out. Meet me there and we can work out a plan. She glances between the two of you. Trust me, we can find a way. We'll keep it simple, clean. Let's get to it. Okay then. Junie smiles. Trust me, this is going to work. I'll go scope out the bay we need in Factory Row. We should split up. Less likely for Karsten to suspect us. Meet me there in a few and we can finish setting up. Junie unclips from her seat, floating. I want to show you I can be trusted. That we can do this. She looks between the two of you. Believe that, please. And with that, she slips away down the passage towards the airlock and Hexport beyond. You look at Seraphine. I'm saying nothing, Sleeper. He unclips from his seat too. Either this is the kind of mess you have to go through to get to out the other side, or it's the kind that you never escape. Either way, we're in it now. He leaves the cockpit. You stare at the chaotic lights of Hexport and wonder if anything in the Starward Belt ever runs smoothly. Okay, and I think that's probably a good place to leave it for this time. When we come back next time, we'll... I don't know if I can even repair the dice yet. That might be something that has to happen a little bit later. But we'll go in and see what else we can do here. We can probably... if I pop in here... We'll do something for... We'll sell our raw scrap. I don't know what we'll get, but we'll do that next time. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. If you have, if you can hit that like button, that'd be amazing. Be sure to leave me a comment and let me know what you thought about our first contracts. I thought they were pretty fun. Definitely something a bit different to the first game. I quite like that and hope to do a lot more of it. But let me know your thoughts. Always good to hear them. And if you are watching this and not yet subscribed to the channel, if you could do that as well, that'd be amazing. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.